Naravit once said he would never change his partner, and honestly I completely understand why. Out of all the Thai BL couples I've analyzed, Pon and Phuwin have one of the strongest relationship charts. Only Earth Mix ranks higher. So what makes PondPhuwin's connection so special? Let's find out. Hello stars, welcome back to my channel where I analyze the relationship horoscopes of your favorite BL couples. Today I'm very excited to talk about Pon and Phuwin because their connection doesn't just look strong, it looks destined. Their charts are filled with karmic links, powerful attraction, and the sense that they were meant to meet. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but first I want to mention that my next video will be about Shujin from Kill to Love. And I also want to kindly ask you to vote for the next couple I should analyze after that. This time it's a hard decision because we're choosing between four very beloved couples: Tae-Nyu, Off-Gun, Gemini 4th, and Force Book. I know this won't be easy, but please vote and let me know who should be next. You'll find the link to the poll in the comments. Thank you, and now let's see what the stars reveal about PondPhuwin. Pon was born on the 1st of February 2001 and his chart has a strong air vibe. In astrology, the element air is about the mind, ideas, talking, curiosity, humor, and needing freedom. Even before we look at love, this already tells us something important. Pon falls in love through connection in the head first. If the conversation is dead, the romance won't stay alive. His sun is in Aquarius, and the sun is the core of who we are. Aquarius is the sign of the original thinker. Pon is the person who wants a love story that feels like friendship, respect, and teamwork. He doesn't want a partner he can own. He wants a partner who has their own personality. His sun in Aquarius makes a supportive aspect to Pluto in Sagittarius. Pluto is the planet of deep change, intensity, and truth. This means Pon is not afraid of big emotional growth as long as it has meaning. He can love in a way that transforms him. Not in a dramatic, messy way, but in a way that makes both partners stronger and braver. Sagittarius adds the theme of adventure, honesty, and searching for something bigger than everyday life. He wants a relationship that expands his world. His moon is in Taurus, and the moon shows our emotions and what makes us feel safe. Taurus is a sign that loves comfort, loyalty, touch, and stability. This is the part of him that needs calm, steady love. He may look cool and detached on the outside, but emotionally he's more classic than people expect. He likes consistency. He likes warmth. He likes a partner who feels real and grounded. Moon in Taurus is also known for having strong taste. It likes good food, good quality, and a peaceful home vibe. Pon is drawn to someone who knows how to build a comfortable life, someone who is good with money, doesn't waste, and knows how to take care of simple daily needs. Love is not only fireworks for Pon, it also means feeling safe together and building something that lasts. His Mercury is in Aquarius too. Mercury shows how we think and communicate. In Aquarius, Mercury speaks in a smart, surprising way, different angles, quick ideas, sometimes a little rebellious. Mercury is at a critical degree, which makes its themes louder in Pon's life. He is meant to use his mind and his voice, and people notice what he says. But Mercury also forms a square to Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is the planet of big ideas, faith, and evolution. Jupiter in Gemini wants to talk a lot, learn a lot, try a lot. So Pon's mind can run fast. He can overthink, overtalk, or jump between ideas. In love, this can show up as mixed signals if he is not careful. He might promise big things in an excited moment, but later he needs space to think. The good news is, when he learns to slow down and speak clearly, he becomes one of those people who can talk through anything. Now to his love signature, Venus in Pisces. Venus is the planet of love, attraction, and how we give affection. In Pisces, Venus loves softly. This is romantic, sweet, forgiving love. It's the type that wants emotional closeness and gentle gesture. It's also very sensitive. Venus in Pisces can idealize a partner, seeing the best, sometimes ignoring the red flags. But it's also beautiful because this placement loves with empathy. Even though he has many planets in air signs, Pon is not only about the mind. His heart wants magic. His Venus is nicely connected to Jupiter in Gemini. It's a lucky, happy aspect for love. It brings charm, warmth, and a natural ability to make someone feel good. It can also bring popularity and people being drawn to him. In relationships, it supports playful flirting, funny conversations, and that feeling of you make my world brighter. Love can come through talking, shared jokes, shared interests. This sounds like best friends who also melt for each other. But Venus also squares Chiron in Sagittarius. Chiron is called the wounded healer in astrology. It shows a soft spot, something that can hurt, but also something you can heal and grow through. A Venus Chiron square often means love touches an old wound. Maybe it's fear of not being enough, fear of being misunderstood, or choosing people who feel exciting but emotionally complicated. Sagittarius themes can bring wounds around truth, distance, freedom, or feeling like you have to prove your worth. The lesson is powerful. Pond is learning that real love doesn't need perfection. It needs honesty, kindness, and boundaries. He can still be gentle without losing himself. He also has asteroid Sappho close to Venus in Pisces. Sappho is linked to admiration, beauty, art, and attraction that is strongly based on vibe and aesthetic. With Venus, it makes his taste very specific. He is pulled toward people with feminine features, soft energy, gentle behavior, and a dreamy presence. It doesn't matter what label someone has. What matters is the softness, the grace, the emotional vibe they bring into the room. This also adds artistic romance, love as inspiration. Then there's asteroid Amor close to Saturn in Taurus. Amor is literally love, and Saturn is the planet of commitment and seriousness. In Taurus, Saturn wants stability and loyalty. So Pond is not a person who only wants a cute moment. Deep down, he wants love that lasts and proves itself over time. Saturn can feel cautious, even slow. But when Saturn loves, it's real. This can show that he is attracted to someone dependable, someone who doesn't play games, someone who is solid and consistent. And this gets even sweeter with an aspect pattern he has in his chart, a small talent triangle. It shows natural gifts. Here Venus and Sappho are at the peak, connected by supportive aspects to Saturn and Amor in Taurus and asteroid Fortuna in Capricorn. Fortuna is linked with luck, opportunity, and the feeling that doors open at the right time. Capricorn energy adds ambition and long-term goals. Put this together and you get the following. Pond's gift is loving in a way that blends softness with loyalty. He can create a relationship that feels romantic but also stable and serious and that brings real-life benefits over time. His relationships are not only about emotions, they are also about having the same path and future direction. Now let's talk passion. Mars in Scorpio. Mars is desire, chemistry, and how we go after what we want. Scorpio is intense, private, magnetic. A man with Mars in Scorpio often expresses masculinity with passion, mystery, and deep focus. Pond doesn't want a shallow connection. He wants full presence. When he wants someone, he wants them completely, emotionally, mentally, physically. This placement makes him incredibly loyal, but he can also be protective and sometimes jealous if he feels unsafe. The keyword here is intensity. Mars is also part of a T-square. Mars in Scorpio sits opposite Saturn in Taurus and both square Uranus in Aquarius. A T-square is a high-pressure pattern. It creates drive but also inner conflict. Mars opposite Saturn can feel like go versus stop, desire versus fear, passion versus caution. It can create frustration if he feels blocked, rejected, or controlled. And Uranus is the planet of freedom, sudden change, and unpredictability. With Uranus squaring both, relationships can sometimes have a push and pull rhythm. Craving closeness, then suddenly needing space, wanting stability, then feeling restless. The lesson here is emotional maturity, choosing a partner who respects his freedom while also building trust so the intensity doesn't turn into drama. When he learns how to balance this, he becomes unstoppable in love and life because this pattern gives huge determination. Here's something that helps a lot. Juno in Pisces trine Mars in Scorpio. Juno is the commitment asteroid. It shows what kind of partner we choose for the long run. Pisces Juno wants a compassionate, romantic, spiritually kind bond. A trine is an easy flowing aspect. So his commitment style, Juno, and his passion, Mars, work well together. This is beautiful for long-term love. It shows he can have strong attraction and real emotional closeness at the same time. His North Node is in Cancer. The North Node shows our life direction, what our soul is learning in this lifetime. Cancer is about emotional truth, care, family, and letting yourself need people. So even if the air in his chart wants to stay cool and independent, his growth path is actually about opening the heart, letting himself be held, creating emotional safety, learning that vulnerability is strength, not weakness. His love life could push him toward his life purpose, real closeness. Last but not least, Black Moon Lilith and Neptune are conjunct in Aquarius. Lilith is linked with raw honesty, independence, and the part of us that won't be tamed. Neptune is dreams, fantasy, and spiritual longing, but also illusion if we are not careful. Together in Aquarius, this can make Pond extremely magnetic in an unusual way. He is drawn to love that feels special, different, not ordinary. This aspect can create a strong feeling that his relationships were not random, but somehow meant to happen. But it's also a reminder, keep love real, not only ideal. Aquarius wants truth, Neptune wants magic. The best version is magical love that still respects reality. So Pond's love horoscope is a mix of head, heart, and intensity. He needs a bond that feels like friendship and freedom, but is also calm, loyal, and deeply passionate. He is drawn to soft feminine energy and gentle romance, yet he takes commitment seriously. His big lesson is balance, not running away when love gets real and not losing himself in a fantasy. When he chooses someone who feels both safe and inspiring, his chart shows something rare. Love that is tender, loyal, and powerful. Phuwin was born on the 5th of July 2003 and his birth chart is honestly amazing. He has many harmonious so-called aspect patterns that I will talk about later. So no wonder he became successful as an actor at such a young age. Phuwin's natal chart is strongly dominated by water energy, and in astrology, water is about emotions, intuition, depth, and sensitivity. When someone has a lot of water in their chart, they don't just feel things, they live them. This already tells us something important about his love life. For him, love is never superficial. It is emotional, intense, and meaningful. His sun is in Cancer. The sun represents our core identity, who we truly are. Cancer is the sign of care, protection, loyalty, and emotional bonding. Phuwin is someone who loves deeply and sincerely. He doesn't fall in love just for fun. He wants closeness, warmth, and the feeling of home with someone. He is shy and cautious, especially in the beginning, but once he trusts a person and opens up, he will give them his heart completely. His sun is very close to Mercury, the planet of communication. This is called Kazimi, which means Mercury is in the heart of the sun, making it extra strong. It gives Phuwin a sharp mind and the ability to express emotions in a powerful way. This is great for an actor. He doesn't just pretend to feel emotions. He can truly express them in a real and natural way. In love, it means he needs emotional conversations. He wants to talk about what he feels, not ignore it. But his sun also stands opposite Chiron in Capricorn, an asteroid known as the wounded healer. It shows a sensitive spot in our life. Capricorn is about responsibility, achievement, and strength. This opposition can create an inner conflict between wanting soft emotional closeness and feeling pressure to be strong and perfect. In love, this can mean he sometimes feels he has to prove himself or be good enough. But this aspect also gives deep emotional wisdom. Phuwin can heal through love. His moon is in Virgo. The moon represents our emotions and needs. Virgo is practical, thoughtful, and observant. Even though he is very emotional inside, Phuwin also shows love through actions, helping, organizing, paying attention to small details. He may notice things others don't. If someone he loves is tired, stressed, or sad, he will probably see it immediately. His love language is practical care. Now let's talk about Venus, the planet of love and attraction. His Venus is right on the edge between Gemini and Cancer. Depending on the exact birth time, it may carry qualities of both signs. Venus in Gemini is playful, curious, and attracted to intelligence and youthfulness. This placement often likes fine features, beautiful hands, narrow waist, graceful shoulders. There is something light and elegant about the type he finds attractive. Venus in Cancer, on the other hand, wants softness, warmth, and emotional beauty. It appreciates a nice chest and someone who looks good even in simple home clothes. So Phuwin's taste in love can mix both. He likes someone who is mentally interesting and youthful, but also emotionally warm and comforting. Venus is conjunct Saturn in Cancer. Saturn is the planet of seriousness, commitment, and long-term responsibility. When Venus meets Saturn, love is not taken lightly. Phuwin is not someone who dates carelessly. He may fall in love slowly, but when he does, he is loyal, very loyal. Saturn can sometimes make a person cautious in love, maybe afraid of rejection, but it also gives staying power. Phuwin is someone who wants real commitment, not just temporary excitement. Mars, the planet of desire and passion, is in Pisces. Pisces is dreamy, romantic, and emotional. Mars shows how we express attraction and sexual energy. In Pisces, this energy becomes soft but powerful. It is less aggressive and more emotional. Phuwin may express passion through tenderness, eye contact, music, and emotional connection rather than dominance. But Mars is also conjunct Uranus, the planet of surprise and freedom. This means his passion can be electric. When he feels something, it can happen suddenly, like lightning. This combination gives intensity and unpredictability in love, but also creative chemistry. Mars and Uranus are part of a grand trine in water signs. A grand trine is a beautiful pattern where three or more planets connect in a smooth triangle. It shows natural talent and flow. In this case, Mars-Uranus in Pisces connect harmoniously with the asteroids Juno and Sappho in Scorpio and with Venus and Saturn in Cancer. Juno represents long-term partnership. Sappho is linked with admiration and deep emotional attraction. This water grand trine tells us something powerful. His love, passion, and commitment are naturally connected. When he chooses someone, he can feel deeply bonded emotionally and physically. This pattern supports soul-level relationships, ones that feel destined. Phuwin may be drawn to partners who are mysterious, emotionally deep, maybe even a little powerful. For him, love must feel passionate and transformative. There's something else I want to mention about Juno and Sappho. They are conjunct, and in my opinion, this energy supports Phuwin's career as a BL actor. Juno represents commitment and partnerships, while Sappho can indicate same-sex love. You might have heard the term sapphic love, which refers to love between two women. It comes from the name Sappho. I don't know Phuwin's exact birth time, so I can't see every detail of his chart. Still, I wouldn't be surprised if Juno and Sappho were placed in an area connected to his career, public image, or finances. With Mars and Uranus positively influencing them, he may push forward in a field that can seem unconventional or unusual. And with Saturn and Venus also involved, he has the potential to build something lasting, something that is both meaningful and financially successful. His North Node is in Taurus. The North Node shows the life path, the direction the soul wants to grow toward. Taurus is about stability, loyalty, and again building something solid and long-term. Even if his emotions are strong and sometimes dramatic because of his water energy, Phuwin's life lesson is simple. Build peace, build loyalty, build something stable and enduring. Love should feel calm, not chaotic. Black Moon Lilith in Taurus adds another layer. It represents raw desire and independence, the part of us that refuses to be controlled. In Taurus, it can give strong physical attraction and sensuality. Phuwin has a quiet but strong magnetism. People may feel drawn to him without fully understanding why. Now let's look at the aspect patterns that I've mentioned before because his chart is full of them. There is a conjunction of Valentine, Amor, and Ceres in Gemini. Valentine and Amor are asteroids connected to romantic love. Ceres represents care and nurturing. In Gemini, this trio suggests that love for him is also about communication, playfulness, and mental connection. Words matter, messages matter, shared jokes matter. This cluster of asteroids is part of several larger patterns in his chart, which makes love a central theme in his life. There is a mystic rectangle in his chart, a special pattern that combines oppositions and harmonious aspects, creating balance between tension and talent. It includes Jupiter, the planet of growth and optimism, in Leo, the sign of performance and charisma, Pluto and Cupido in Sagittarius, Neptune in Aquarius, and the Valentine Amor series group in Gemini. This pattern supports both artistic success and emotional complexity. It helps him transform emotional tension into creative power. It's one of the reasons his acting ability is so strong. Overlapping this, he has a kite pattern. A kite is like a grand trine with an extra push. The Valentine Amor series group in Gemini sits at the top of the kite, opposite Pluto and Cupido in Sagittarius. Everything connects harmoniously to Jupiter in Leo and Nike, the asteroid representing victory, in Aries. This is powerful for fame, passion, and romantic storytelling. Love and performance are deeply connected in his birth chart. This again indicates that he might become successful when acting in romantic series or movies. There are also two yods in his chart. A yod is also called the finger of God. It points to something special or fated in life. One yod has his Sun and Mercury in Cancer at the focal point, connected to Pluto, Cupido, and Neptune. This suggests that his identity and voice are guided by deep transformation and dreams. The second yod has Chiron in Capricorn at the focal point, connected to the Valentine Amor series group and Jupiter. This shows that healing, love, and public success are connected in his life story. When you look at all of this together, one thing becomes clear. Love is not a small theme in Phuwin's chart. It is central. It shapes his identity, his growth, and even his public image and success. He is emotional but not irrational, romantic but not naive, sensitive but also strong. His chart shows someone who doesn't just experience love. He lives it fully and deeply with a kind of intensity that leaves a mark on both him and the person beside him. Now when we look at PondPhuwin's birth charts side by side, something already feels special. Phuwin once said, Pond and I are like two different poles of a magnet. And astrologically, that makes so much sense. Phuwin's chart is strongly dominated by water, which makes him emotional, intuitive, and deeply feeling. Pond, on the other hand, has strong air energy in his chart. He brings ideas, communication, and lightness. In this way, they naturally complement each other. Where one feels deeply, the other helps put feelings into words. Where one dives into emotion, the other creates perspective. Both of them have their moon in earth signs, showing that they want stability, loyalty, and something real. This is very important. It means that even if their personalities are different on the surface, deep inside they both need security and consistency. They both want something solid. There is also a beautiful karmic hint. Pond's north node, which represents his life path and soul direction, is in Cancer, the same sign as Phuwin's sun. This means that someone like Phuwin helps Pond grow into his purpose. We will talk more about that later, but this is already a strong sign of destiny. And let's not forget, Pond's Venus, the planet of love, is in Pisces, a water sign. Venus shows what kind of partner we are attracted to. Pisces energy is soft, emotional, gentle, and sensitive, exactly the kind of strong water influence that Phuwin carries in his chart. Already on a very simple level, Pond's heart is naturally drawn to someone like Phuwin. Two different poles of a magnet, different energies. But when they come close, something clicks. And this is only the beginning, because now we move to the synastry, their compatibility chart, where we see how their planets interact with each other. Usually I start a synastry analysis by looking at the personal planets, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. But in this case, something else immediately caught my attention, the karmic connection, and it is huge. Phuwin's Sun and Mercury are not only in the same sign as Pond's North Node as I mentioned before, they are exactly conjuncted. The North Node in astrology represents our life path, our soul direction, where we are meant to grow. When someone's Sun, which represents their core identity, and Mercury, the planet of communication, sits right on your North Node, it's fate. It feels like this person activates your future. Phuwin doesn't just enter Pond's life randomly. He pushes him forward. He helps Pond grow into who he is meant to become. That alone is one of the strongest destiny markers you can find in a compatibility horoscope. But there is more. Phuwin's Chiron, the wounded healer, stands opposite Pond's north node and conjunct his south node. The south node represents the past, past habits, past life energy, comfort zones. This can feel like they have known each other before. There is familiarity, but also healing. Phuwin may trigger old wounds in Pond, but not in a destructive way. It feels more like he recognizes Pond's vulnerable places and gently encourages him to grow beyond them, turning sensitivity into strength instead of pain. Pond's asteroid Hera, which is linked to marriage, commitment, and long-term partnership, is conjunct Phuwin's Chiron and trine Phuwin's Lilith. Lilith represents raw authenticity and deep desire. This combination is powerful. It suggests that Pond's idea of commitment connects directly to Phuwin's most vulnerable and most authentic parts. There is something very intimate about this bond. It touches deep layers of the soul. And the karmic theme continues. Pond's Jupiter, Saturn, and asteroid Amor are conjunct Phuwin's north node. Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion. Saturn is the planet of karma, responsibility, and long-term lessons. Amor is linked to romantic love. When all of this touches someone's north node, it creates a feeling of purpose. Pond brings growth, seriousness, and love into Phuwin's life in a way that feels meaningful. This is not a light, forgettable connection. Even more striking, Pond's Saturn is conjunct Phuwin's asteroid Karma. Saturn already represents karma in astrology. When it touches an asteroid literally called karma, the message is clear. This relationship carries unfinished business. Whether from the past or simply from deep emotional patterns, they are here to learn something important together. Pond's Venus, the planet of love, makes a harmonious aspect to Phuwin's north node. That means Pond's way of loving naturally supports Phuwin's life path. Pond's asteroid Fortuna, which symbolizes luck and ease, also connects beautifully to Phuwin's north node. Being together can open doors. It can feel lucky. It can feel right. Now let's move to the personal planets. Pond's Sun is conjunct Phuwin's Neptune. Neptune is the planet of dreams, fantasy, and idealism. When someone's Sun touches your Neptune, you might see them through a soft, magical filter. There is inspiration. There is admiration. But there can also be illusion if you are not careful. Pond may represent a dream image for Phuwin or the other way around. This aspect feels romantic and artistic. It fits actors perfectly. They can inspire each other creatively. Pond's Mercury is conjunct Phuwin's Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprises and originality. This creates electric conversations. They stimulate each other mentally. They can laugh, debate, and surprise one another. Mercury also forms a trine to Phuwin's Venus, which makes communication affectionate and sweet. They likely enjoy talking to each other. Words flow easily. However, Pond's Venus squares Phuwin's Venus. Venus shows how we love and what we find attractive. A square creates tension. This doesn't mean that their relationship can't work. It means they love differently. One may want more emotional reassurance, while the other expresses love in a different style. But sometimes this tension creates attraction. Opposites can fascinate each other. There is also a strong Uranus-Jupiter tension. Pond's Jupiter squares Phuwin's Uranus, while Phuwin's Jupiter opposes Pond's Uranus. Jupiter is growth and optimism. Uranus is freedom and sudden change. Together, this can bring excitement, but also unpredictability. Their connection may feel big, fast, and intense. Plans can change suddenly. There is a restless energy here, but it also keeps the bond alive and dynamic. Here comes another deep karmic layer. Pond's asteroid Karma is conjunct Phuwin's Juno and Sappho. Juno represents long-term partnership. Sappho symbolizes admiration and deep emotional attraction. When Karma touches these points, it suggests that commitment and attraction between them are part of a larger soul story. Phuwin's Sun and Mercury also trine Pond's asteroid Nike, the asteroid symbolizing success and victory. This suggests that together they can win. They support each other's achievements. Pond's Nike also trines Phuwin's Pluto, the planet of transformation and power. Their bond can strengthen their individual public image and career. But not everything is soft and easy. Pond's Neptune-Lilith conjunction in Aquarius squares Phuwin's Juno-Sappho conjunction in Scorpio. Neptune brings dreams and illusion. Lilith brings raw independence and desire. Juno's Sappho in Scorpio is intense, emotional, and deeply committed. The square can create confusion or emotional intensity. There can be moments of misunderstanding, jealousy, or mixed signals. One may crave emotional depth, while the other sometimes drifts into distance or idealism. This is a powerful but complicated energy. When we look at everything together, one theme stands out: destiny. Their charts are connected again and again through the North Node, Saturn, Karma, and Juno. This is not a random meeting. Whether they are co workers, best friends, lovers, or something in between, their connection carries weight. It pushes both of them to grow. It brings healing, excitement, and inspiration. And yes, sometimes also tension. They really are like two poles of a magnet. Their energies are different, sometimes even opposite. But there's a strong pull that's hard to ignore even if they try to act unaffected. Once they move closer to each other, it becomes almost impossible to pretend that nothing is happening, because the connection is simply too powerful to overlook. Let's move on to their composite chart, where we are no longer looking at Pond or Phuwin alone. A composite chart shows the energy of the relationship itself. The composite sun, which represents the core identity of the relationship, is in Aries. Aries is bold, direct, and full of action. This connection is not quiet. It wants to move, to start things, to take risks. There is a strong sense of initiative between them. Together they don't feel passive, they feel alive. The sun forms a harmonious aspect to Uranus in Aquarius. Uranus is the planet of originality, surprise, and freedom. Together they create something fresh and different. Their bond feels modern, unique, and exciting. It doesn't feel boring or traditional. But there is also asteroid Nike, which represents success and victory, at a critical degree in Capricorn, forming a square to the Sun. A critical degree makes energy stronger and more intense. Capricorn is ambition and career. The square to the Sun suggests that success is a major theme in this relationship. There can be pressure to achieve, to perform, to win. Their connection is strongly tied to public recognition. Sometimes this can feel stressful, but it also pushes them forward. The composite moon, which shows emotional needs, is in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of care, home, and emotional bonding. This is a very soft energy. No matter how bold or ambitious the outside looks, inside this connection is emotional safety. There is protectiveness here. They may feel safe with each other in a way they don't show publicly. Communication is shown by Mercury, and their composite Mercury is in Taurus. They talk slowly, calmly, and thoughtfully to each other. Yet because of a tense aspect to Neptune, the planet of fantasy and illusion, sometimes there may be confusion, misunderstandings, or mixed signals. At the same time, Mercury trines Chiron in Capricorn. Chiron is the wounded healer. This means their conversations can also heal. They can talk about serious things and help each other grow through honest communication. Venus, the planet of love and harmony, is also in Taurus in the composite chart. It shows loyalty, stability, and also sensuality. This is one of the strongest placements for a long-term affection. Venus forms a positive aspect to a Mars-Juno conjunction in Capricorn. Mars represents passion and drive. Juno represents commitment and long-term partnership. Capricorn adds seriousness and responsibility. This is powerful. It could describe a very strong working partnership or something deeper. Mars and Juno in Capricorn are opposed by Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter means growth and expansion. Oppositions create tension, but also balance. This can show a conflict between ambition and emotional needs. On one side, there is drive, career focus, and responsibility. On the other side, there is emotion, warmth, and the need to feel cared for. This tension can make the relationship dynamic and alive. There is also a very intense T-square in their composite chart involving Saturn and asteroid Eros in Gemini, opposite Pluto in Sagittarius, and both square asteroid Valentine in Pisces. Saturn is responsibility and karma, Eros represents deep passion and desire, Pluto is transformation and power, and Valentine symbolizes romantic love. A T-square creates pressure and intensity. This suggests that passion, control, responsibility, and romantic feelings are deeply connected. This relationship can feel magnetic, even overwhelming at times. It is not light or superficial. But Saturn and Eros also trine Neptune in Aquarius, which softens the energy. There is inspiration and creativity here, which helps them when it comes to storytelling and emotional performance. The asteroids Ceres and Valentine in Pisces square the North Node in Gemini. The North Node shows the purpose or destiny of the relationship. In Gemini, the purpose is communication, connection, and sharing ideas. The square suggests that emotional closeness and romantic themes push them toward their destiny. Love and care are not separate from their path, they are part of it. Asteroid Hera, linked to partnership and marriage themes, is in Libra, the sign of art and balance, and it trines the North Node. This is beautiful for a creative duo, especially when they are involved in love-centered projects like a BL series. It supports harmony in artistic collaboration. Libra energy is about aesthetics and performance chemistry. Their partnership feels natural in front of an audience. Black Moon Lilith in Pisces adds a layer of mystery and emotional depth. Lilith represents raw truth and hidden desire. In Pisces, it can make the connection feel spiritual, dreamy, sometimes even confusing, but also very emotional or even passionate. Another T-square involves asteroid Karma in Leo, opposite Pallas Athena in Aquarius, both squaring Venus in Taurus. Karma represents fate, Leo is performance and the stage. Pallas Athena symbolizes strategy and intelligence, while Venus is love and harmony. This suggests that PondPhuwin's love, public image, and creative strategy are all connected. Their bond is tied to performance and destiny. It feels like something that had to happen. Overlapping this, they have a mystic rectangle formed by Saturn and Eros in Gemini, Karma in Leo, Pluto in Sagittarius, and Pallas Athena in Aquarius. A mystic rectangle balances tension with harmony. It shows that even when things are intense, there is a hidden structure that keeps everything stable. This is excellent for long-term collaboration. There is also a yod, also called the finger of God, with Mars-Juno in Capricorn as the focal point, connected to Karma in Leo and Saturn-Eros in Gemini. A yod points to something special and fated. With Mars-Juno at the center, the theme of partnership, ambition, and commitment becomes the main focus of this relationship. It feels like they are meant to build something together. It's most likely connected to career and finances, Capricorn, to performance, Leo, and public speaking or being in front of an audience, Gemini. This sounds great for acting partners. When we look at the composite chart as a whole, one message becomes clear. This is not a light connection. It is bold, emotional, ambitious, creative, and deeply karmic. Whether they are working partners, friends, or something more, their bond has purpose. It pushes them towards success. It carries emotional depth. It feels intense but also meaningful. This relationship has fire, heart, and destiny woven together. Now you know everything I can tell you about PondPhuwin. Don't miss my next video about Eugene from Kill to Love, and please don't forget to vote for the couple I should analyze after that. Until next time, shine bright like the stars.